So, hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today on this session. Welcome to another session with the RRAI and Happy New Year to all of you. Today we have a special guest to talk about a special topic. Now we have Coach Reem Anani, who's a certified life coach, to told us about a very, very important issue that we almost all have in our life, how to stop the overthinking. It's something we are really getting more and more, especially with the stress that we've got from COVID and all of that stuff. So it's an honor to have you with us, Reem.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Happy New Year to you and to all our attendees. I'm really, really happy. And I wanted to thank the Right and Responsibilities Awareness Initiative for this opportunity to talk to our audience right now. I'm really happy. I am Reem Anani, like our friend have what did I say? Introduce me. I am the author of Your Way to Happiness. This is a book you can find on The Pursuit of Success. My book is The Pursuit of Success. You can always find it on Amazon. I am happy to be here with you and to talk about this great subject. I myself have suffered from overthinking for a while. The problem and the biggest problem here is that when we don't know, we cannot put a name on what's going on with us. So let's start with the topics we're going to talk about. First of all, I want you to know that it's normal, and most people during many stages of their lives go through periods of time where they are actually overthinking. They have more thoughts, and those thoughts are negative. So the most questions you want to ask yourself is like, do I have overthinking? Are my thoughts negative? So the first step is to know that. I want you to know that our brain produces more than 70,000 thoughts a day. So if we really don't know what to do with all these thoughts, or eliminate some of them, or get in control of these thoughts, we can really have depression, we can have anxieties, we can have all kinds of stuff. Actually, our brain can go all over the place and we lose control of our lives. So first step here, I'm going to talk about and really encourage you to know that do I have overthinking, instead of naming it otherwise. Sometimes we say, I'm really depressed, I am ashamed of myself, I'm feeling this and that. The starting point is the kind of thoughts you are having. Are you overthinking? Are your thoughts negative? Do you have a choice over these thoughts? This is where the whole story begins. So the first thing is being aware that, oh, I do have overthinking, and I don't like it to continue because it's kind of ruining my life. Literally, it can ruin your life. Many of us have what we call it monkey brain, where our brain can jump from one story to the other and from one idea to the other. And I have gone through this till the point that I have to go dig and see and seek solution. Now, why those thoughts actually affecting us that much? I want you to know that every thought we have ended up giving us or making us having emotions. Every thought have an emotion that goes with it. What kind of emotions am I having because of these thoughts? Are they making me ashamed of myself because they're telling me about, oh, one day I did this and that? Are they always talking about the past, where I'm living in the past and I'm not living this moment? Am I always anxious about the future? And that's why I am always depressed and feel uncertain, and fear especially comes with too much thinking of the future. So basically, you need to know yourself. We spend so much time knowing others and how they do this and why they do that, and we ask ourselves questions. The biggest question here and the biggest information that can help you is to know yourself. What kind of emotions am I producing because of these thoughts? So please be aware of all that, and it's not bad to even write it down so you can say, oh, every time I think about this thing or this situation, I go to the past and I don't feel good. So maybe I don't want to go there. Your thoughts are not you. This is a big breakthrough. It was huge for me to know that these thoughts not necessarily me. Because, you know, we start talking to these thoughts, and this thought, I'm sure all of you do this. We start going to these thoughts and I answer it. This thought is telling me, oh my gosh, when this person said this to you 10 years ago, and I'm still crying about it. And then I say, oh no, she shouldn't be doing it. And we start talking to these thoughts. Negative thoughts loves that. You will be in jail with these thoughts, sitting with them, because you're giving them space. We're given the more attention you give to the negative thought, the longer time it will sit. And sometimes it becomes chronic. You cannot get out of it. So my advice is, do not converse with these thoughts, because you are not your thoughts, honestly. You are the thoughts you should be picking. So these 70,000 thoughts are not me? Absolutely not. And you know, sometimes I have a really mean thought. And I learned from Oprah Winfrey, on Oprah Winfrey show, and I learned this phrase from the book, The Seat of the Soul, too, when he said, this thought is not mine. I mean, some thoughts are really mean. It's like, oh my gosh, am I thinking this mean thought? It just came to you. And I would say, no, this thought is not me. Some people are ashamed of some of the thoughts they have. You can easily just say, this thought is not me. So it's time to separate between me, the real me, and the thought, so I can go back to be in control. If I control my mind, I can succeed in this life. I can be successful. I can make things happen. If these thoughts are in control of my mind, then I really don't know where we can go. How can you get anything done? And your brain is going boom, 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 and you are reacting to all these thoughts. Do not be in the reaction seat. I want you to be in the driver's seat and say, you know what, this thought, I didn't invite it. I don't want it. Do not go in depth with it. The more deep you go with it, the more it's going to stay, the more it's going to come back again, because it's going to love it. Kind of like, oh, this is the place where you want to be at. So basically, to be aware of what's going on in your mind, that's your first job. So you can live a peaceful mind, a peaceful life, and you can go on with things you want to do. And next thing, we're going to start talking. And of course, you can ask questions. I would love to hear from you and see what you guys think. Then, okay, I admit I am overthinking. I have that problem. My thoughts are very negative and they are taking me to anxiety or depression or all kind of stuff. They're telling me you're a failure. We have times when you look at yourself and you say, some voice in your head saying, oh, you're a failure, and you're going to believe it. You don't have to believe it. And if I fail in the past, that's a lesson I took. Okay, you can rename it. And two more thoughts other than the ones that are negatives, the ones they happened in the past, where they keep coming and I keep playing their scenario, and I replay the scenario. And I try to say, oh, I could have said this, or I could have done that. A lot of us go through this. Like, I wish 6 months back, or even 2 hours back, I have said this to this person. But guess what? Time moves on. If you decide to be stuck in the last 5 minutes, or the last 2 hours, or the last 2 years, or to your childhood. That's a choice. That's a choice you make. So what happened in the past, it's a very good concrete thought, as easy as it seems, to just say this happened. Ask yourself, if this happened in the past and I have no way of changing it, and this is the lesson I learned, then done. I'm done with it. The other thing is future thoughts. Again, they make you anxious. They make you afraid because it's uncertain. The thing is, the future is like, I'm not even sure I'm going to be in the future. And if I want to make, if I'm going to assume, I'm just going to make a positive thought about the future, because that actually most likely to make my future good. Third thing, what we are doing right this moment, right here, is going to determine where our future is going. So there is no need for all these thoughts to just let it just go the way it wants or take the direction it wants. You can actually say, choose it, just exactly the way you choose your clothes. I'm going to see in the chat box, I see a question. Forgiveness of the past is important. Yes, Rachel, it is so important. I go through forgiveness every a month or sometimes every week, because we have to forgive the past so we can go through. And some people have hard time with this forgiveness concept, because they say, well, I don't want to forgive this person because I want him to pay the price. The thing is, no matter what we do, what goes around comes around. If somebody hurts you one day, something is going to happen, because this is how the universe works, okay? But when I forgive this person, I kind of get him out of my way, get him out of my thought. I forgive so I can live in peace, so I can keep going. So all that stuff, it's a very good concrete foundation to put for our peace of mind. Okay, so how do I stop this crazy monkey mind, the overthinking? How can I put these 70,000 thoughts under control? Like we said, do not engage with your negative thoughts. Just don't give it a space. If it is negative and you know it is negative and you don't want it, don't give it time. I used to go on and on and on with one thought, sometimes for hours, and think about it and just talk to it and try to reason with it. And that thought would persist and stay with me for weeks sometimes. And that's not a good life, I'm telling you. I mean, it's really tough life. So do not engage, don't give it a space, so it can be temporarily visiting and going. Number 2, you have to get busy. Okay, our brain either thinking or he is busy with what we're doing. And that's why we say to live in the moment, to live in the now is the biggest thing we can do for ourselves, the biggest favor, the biggest thing you can do for your success, the biggest thing you can do for whatever you do. The problem here is that sometimes we get busy with routine things that we're doing it. We don't have to think about it because our hands knows how to do it. Just like sometimes when we get behind the wheel and I ride my car and I find that my car is taking me wherever it wants. I really didn't think how I got home. Sometimes literally that can happen. So when we say get busy with something fun, try, like if you have now, you're under that overthinking and you're having a hard time, go find something new to do, something fun. I'm not talking about something huge. Let's go to Hawaii or like it's good. If you're going, take me with you. But what I'm thinking, something huge is small thing. Go like cut this pattern of thinking by get on the internet and find a new recipe for cooking that needs all the attention of the brain that the brain cannot afford to go by like all over the place. So he had to be focusing with the new thing we are doing. I always say, learn something you love, something like I imagine, like I would love to have the time to learn how to knit, let's say. Right now, it's all over the place. It's on YouTube. You can go on YouTube and find a way how to do it and engage your brain with something new. And the brain has no other choice but to put all his energy in the new things we are learning. Read a new book. Sometimes after we read a few pages, we feel like we're reading with our brain somewhere else. Again, you have to bring it back. For the guys, do something new hobby, go dancing. Zumba is good because you have to follow certain steps, so your brain needs to be engaged all the time. So always you can eliminate negative thoughts or overthinking by getting busy with something you enjoy. And when you do it, try to put all your energy in it. I'm trying to get busy with something new too. You can always ask a friend to help with that and do kind of like, okay, we're doing this, we're helping each other with it. That's always a good thing. Number 3, take a moment to meditate. Now, for people who overthink, meditation is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you, oh, just sit, breathe, and it's easy. Start gradually. Some people say, if I sit for a whole minute, I'll lose my mind, to just like without thinking and try to control my brain. Don't try to control your brain. Actually, what I want you to do is just put half a minute to start out with and start breathing the meditation. Even we breathe, by the way, when we are unconscious. But if we consciously start breathing, we take deepest breath from our nose, like you bring it down to your belly, like babies. And then take the breath out from your mouth. When you are conscious about the long breath down all the way to my belly, because now we breathe like little breaths here and we cannot bring it down, force it down. And then when you breathe out, count till 8. Keep breathing till you can breathe out no more from your mouth. So make sure that you meditate and you start gradually. Don't give up on yourself and say, oh, I cannot graduate for 5 minutes, meditate for 5 minutes. I can meditate only for a minute. That's perfect. Some people will say, I can start with half a minute. Build on it. So wherever you can start from that point. I started with mostly at half a minute of meditation, and I build it gradually all the way to half an hour. Sometimes I look at my watch or my phone and I find out that I've been sitting there for 40 minutes. But that took me a year because I have, like I said, my brain was all over the place. So gradually, try meditation. It helps. It's 100%. It 100% can help you, but you have to choose the right time, the right place, and make sure you don't listen to your brain to say, oh, you're not that kind of a person. You cannot meditate. It's not for us. It's for everybody if they try and if they really want it. 3 or 4, use your logic. Now let's go to the reasoning. And we said do not reason with the negative thought, but sometimes you have like this thought is just so strong, I cannot run away from it. Ask yourself logically, like 5 years from now, does this idea really or this thought matter? Is it now, like people who have fear, a lot of people who have lots of fear, and they say, well, I'm afraid of this and this and this. If we say this moment, how much of this is really right? The answer is none. I mean, if we go to our logic, to ourself, away from the thought, kind of like just carry it and put it aside, we're going to find out that most of our thoughts, honestly, they either happen in the past or they actually make an assumption of something might happen in the future. A lot of moms tells me that I'm afraid that my son one day he will be with bad kids. He's like 6 now, okay? And she's afraid when he's 15. I always tell them, if somebody tells me in 10 years there might be an earthquake in the area you live in, I don't want to know it, okay? This is not something I can control. I will do my best. But if you want a good kid who does not follow gangs or do drugs, Maybe right now, instead of sitting with your fear and start thinking about all the things that can go wrong, I can sit with him and read a book. I can be so close to him where he trusts me and he actually can listen to my advice. Get him busy with sports, get him a healthy lifestyle. So many things I can do at this moment to prevent or to make sure the future is good and bright, because the future is the result of what we do in this moment. We're gonna actually go on and find out that all the work we did actually now become fruitful. So basically, logically, most of this overthinking and the fears and the anxiety and the shame and the guilt, it's either something happened and I cannot do anything about it, I can learn the lesson, or it might happen down the road and all I can do is to be so present at this moment and make sure my future is good because of what I am doing at this moment, just like we are doing here, and we are sitting together to learn and to change our lives. Always, always helps and never fails is that when you help someone, you can take your mind off your problem. Let's say you have a problem or something that happened and it keeps like the tape keeps going and going and going. Go help someone. That actually never fails. Is there a mom in your area that she wishes for half a minute or half an hour to go see the doctor? She doesn't have someone to watch her baby. Can we go to schools and volunteer? Can we go to the senior living and play some music for them or do something or play cards with them? Whatever it is, as small as it is, go to the animal shelter and take care of an animal. Whatever you do, once we help people, something magically happens in our life. We just feel positive. We feel worthy. We feel positive, and that invites positivity into our life more and more and more. This is all good, and it always can help. Journal. I write books and books and books, and every time we move, guys, I tell you, we have boxes of notebooks that I wrote. I write every single night. I write every single day, and I enjoy writing. And why it helps, especially with overthinking, because it helps to see what's going on in your brain. Oh, today I have this thought and it wasn't good. Now you see it. Okay, now you see it, you put it on paper, you kind of face in it, or okay, so journal, write down all the things that may be bothering you. Once you put it on paper, it's kind of like, oh, I threw it on the paper. Sometimes it helps if it's all negativity, just burn it. Another thing I like you to journal for, especially when you have negative thoughts or overthinking, write down all the good things that happened in your life. By the way, once we open our eyes and minds to all the great things and positive things happening in our life, really, that makes a difference. I mean, to wake up and open my eyes to see the sunshine or to see my kids and to have eyesight when other people don't, that's a blessing. I would say daily, I recommend that you guys write 5 things you are grateful about. And if somebody gonna say my life is so bad that I cannot find anything good, thank God about your eyesight. Thank God that you have legs you walk in. Some people don't. If you live in a home, an apartment, just thank God for the roof on top of your head. Start from there. Because this little piece of light, this little bit of light, it will spread all over your life, start getting bigger. Because whatever you focus on or you give attention in your life, it kind of gets bigger. So journal, write those things. Write things that happen to you that makes you smile from childhood. Write your successes. Write things that you overcome so far in your life. Oh, I remember, like small things. Don't look for mountain, big things. Really, what matters in this life is little things. Write down about, oh, one time when I was in like 6th grade, I remember the teacher was so nice and I made this project and she loved it. Boom, perfect. It lifts you up. So make many kinds of journals. One is for gratefulness. Be grateful every day. Every day, just practice gratefulness, not just be grateful. And do one for your successes that makes you good, feel good. Or one day, like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or you have one day you went for a trip and it was good. Whatever it is, remind yourself of all this. Another thing I would like you to make a list of things you have control of. Write it down. Then you will notice that most of these negative thoughts, it's something either happened in the past and I have no control of it, or maybe it's in the future and still I have no control of it. Or sometimes it's good to know, oh, so these things I have no control of. I will not spend my energy and lose my energy on them. Things I have control of. And then I will start doing school. I'm going to school. Do you have control? Yes. All you have to do is carry your book and start reading and you will have a good grade, period. I am part of a soccer team. Go train because when you train, you will actually have good results, okay? So kind of journal all these things, kind of help your brain to get organized, and your mind and your brain will start working for you instead of being working against you. Last thing and last advice I really want to give to you, do not be shy to ask for help. We all need help at a certain time, but know who do you ask for help. Okay, don't ask, like if I am depressed and I will go ask my depressed friend for help. How can we help each other? We both need help. So go find help from a professional, from somebody who can actually add value to your life. Sometimes he doesn't have to be professional. I just have a wise friend and he is always doing good, a couple of steps ahead of me. Okay, I can ask for help. Do not just swim and drown into negativity. It's not good. You cannot do much. It's every step will be so heavy and so hard to go on with it because negativity, it just takes up all your energy. It makes even good things looks bad. It focuses on the bad, so the bad kind of gets even more in our life. Why? Why all this? Life is too short for me to have these thoughts run or my mind run my life. I have to tell my brain what do I want and in which direction I would like to take my life. And coming to this point, this will be the end of my presentation. Do you guys have any questions? I would like to hear your thoughts.
Thank you for the presentation. My question is, let's say like you're going throughout the day and you start to recognize that you're having negative thoughts because like you're overwhelmed and whatnot. Let's say you're in like a work or a school setting. How would you address that, or like how would you begin to center yourself back?
Okay, so if I'm at work and my work permits for me to take even half a minute to breathe, I would start breathing. Okay, even if you have to take a bathroom break and you go and you just hold your breath like 3, 4, 5 times, as much as you can, and go back to your work station, that would work. Another thing I want you to remind yourself is like, oh my gosh, so this is the overthinking. And, I cannot afford it right now, or I need to focus on my work, or remind yourself is like, oh, okay, so this is the thing. So now there is you and there is the overthinking. So it's not you. So basically the moment you push it a little bit and you start looking at it from outside, right away it start helping. You go back to be in control. Okay. Name it. Give the thought a name. It's like, oh, these bad thoughts or all the things that's happening. Give it a name and try to recenter by breathing, if that's possible. Does that help?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We have another question from Rachel. Rachel, would you like to ask your question, or you would rather us reading it from the chat?
I guess I could ask it. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I was just going to bring up the fact, like, you had a wonderful presentation. It was very insightful. But I do find that in these COVID times, it's a lot more difficult to connect with people, to get out, to be distracted because we're locked up in our homes. And we're unable to even go for a coffee. Like, restaurants are closed. We work from home. We do everything by Zoom, just like we're doing right now. And I'm just wondering what your advice is for that. And I also just wanted to say thank you for talking so much about breathing, because I personally feel that that is so important too in everything that you do. And it really just helps you focus and center and helps you think before you speak sometimes as well, which is important. But I did want to hear your advice on when you're locked up, what do you do? Where do we take out our negative energy, and how do we, become more positive and less overthinking? Because as Haytham knows, I'm the biggest overthinker that has graced this planet, I think.
Yes. I hear you. We all went through the whole thing, and I remember me and my family, literally the first 6 months, we did not do much. I don't know what's your life situation. If you have a family, who do you live with? First of all, we need to know that the whole planet Earth is going around through what we're going through. Okay. So that one thing that we cannot control this, and I cannot just feel poor me. I cannot go to this place or the other. I'm not saying this is easy, by the way. It was hard on me, just like it was hard on you. It's a life-altering situation, but we have to go through it, and we did. So now we need to know who do I live with and how can I make this better? So instead of focusing on the problem, I go back and start searching for the solution. So many people, like on Facebook, 2 groups of people. We can find, or on social media, you can find people who are falling into like, for us, look what's gonna happen. This is how many people died. I mean, it was bad. But at the same time, I have the choice to go to the other way and ask myself, how can I benefit from this? If you have, now I cannot meet people face on face or in person. I opened my Facebook account, honestly, and I start cooking online. I never done that. I haven't done it after the first 6 months. I learned the new recipes. You can learn a new recipe. Maybe this is your chance to make if you wanted to make a career change, maybe you can like get more courses. You can change the course of your life. Maybe you can look at the positive things that some families are talking about it. Like my family, we benefited a lot. 2 college students ended up flying home. At that time, we were living in Eagle, Idaho. And they have flying, and we had at the first 2 weeks, we were like everybody on edge, okay? But then we played games that we haven't played since they were little. We made food. My college students who never cooked, they start cooking recipes we never heard of it. Do something different. And I really encourage you, Rachel, to focus on the solution. It is what it is. This is part of the list that, I have no control of changing the situation, but how can I benefit from it? I cannot go meet friend face to face, but I can go for a walk. I cannot go for a walk. Maybe I can put Zumba on the screen and start dancing with them, because that right away lifts you up. I can change my food by start learning new recipes. The only things we can do is to find ways to still improve our life, regardless of what happened and how stressful it is. It's not easy. I cannot say it is easy, but at the same time, it's doable. And these tough times are making us who we are, making us the creativity. Most people, most human actually, innovation happens through the time where humanity either was going through hard time, wars, or poverty. And now we feel like we're at war with this virus. Me and my family just went through it, all of us, 5 of us. We had COVID 2 weeks ago. And it is not easy, but hey, we're happy and we're very grateful that we fully recovered actually, thank God, and everything is okay. So find something good. If you don't read, find a good book, a positive book. Find a story. We watch so many movies, we play tons of monopolies, play cards, but what works for you? You know, sometimes what I do, I felt frustration. I'm giving you ideas, but of course yours can be different. I made a scarf, which I'm really bad knitter, but I did knit a scarf because that was actually taking my mind off being bored and I cannot leave. I love to buy the coloring books where they have pictures of black and white, and I go and color them, and I pick the tough ones that really takes all my attention, where I can color them with all kinds of colors. And honestly, I made beautiful pages of that. There is a million things to do. Pick the things that are closer to your heart and tell yourself, it is what it is, Rachel. The whole world is going through this, and you're going to go through it, and you're going to be successfully going through this. And believe me, your creative brain will kick in.
Great words of advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
So just trying to echo what you've just said. Actually, I felt almost the same way when we came to Canada. It's a new country, new culture, a new legal system, new environment, that snow, that winter, it's all a challenge. So I actually found my relief in fishing.
Oh.
Later on, I was driving to long distances with my son, just trying to fish with him, finding good spots. And later in the holy month of Ramadan, I start to cook. And, you know, I was so proud. I was during my class. So Rachel and Jimmy Martinez, my friends in the class, know that I was very proud showing them what I've cooked. Okay. And for me, you know, I was the best chef in the world. It's something cheers me up, and especially and with a new food, it's of course we're gonna reflect in your mood. So yeah, I strongly echo what you've just said.
Okay, so we have Lama said you can change your life by studying what you like. First of all, I want to thank you for sharing your story, Haytham, with us. It's really important, because what's a bigger change than changing the country coming from the Middle East to Canada, okay, or to America? We did that many times in our life, and you know, we successfully did it. But you can always, like our friend Lama said, you can always learn something you like. Maybe like time was so busy, we were busy with other people, with our lives. But now it's my chance. I can do things that I can do the things I love. I can talk about the topics, or we learned actually now how to interact with each other over the screen and still be happy and satisfied about it. So there is so much you can do. By the way, many people more than any time of the recent history are changing jobs now. And that's the result of the last year and a half, where people change jobs. They actually worked on themselves. They got new certificates. They find out their job doesn't suit them. So at least I know that true in the United States, and probably here in Canada too, that there is a huge shift on where people are working now and what industries they are shifting in. So with all this negativity or this virus and what's going on, there are some positive signs, and hopefully we can, this year will be the end. I really hope so.
Well, I do always believe that there should be laughter after pain. There should be sunshine after rain. Oh, I'm saying poets here. So my friends, I would be very grateful if you can fill out the feedback form. It will help us to improve our upcoming sessions, and that would be a great support for RRAI from you. So any other comment, question, remark? Well, actually, I do have something. So at certain point, you know, it's good to control your tempo, your anger, but at certain point you found yourself that you lost your control. You start, acting in a way that not acceptable within the community. So I would imagine, for example, an employee starts shouting on his co-workers or colleagues, or for example, someone start using improper terms in front. So that would be, such improper. But at certain point, you try to control, but how you could try not to reach, is there some kind of an alarm? Okay, that I'm going through the red line, I should stop now, Is there something like that?
It's a gradual process. I am telling you guys from now, if I tell you, if anybody tells you he's perfect, nobody's perfect. One day we're gonna lose our temper, but instead of using it once a day, as I'm working on myself, realizing I have a problem is the first step for fixing that problem. So if I lose my temper, if I don't give it a name and I face myself and I say, oh, I have a problem, I usually lose my temper. That's when you start fixing the problem, by realizing I have a problem. Second, go for the solution. Okay, we name the problem. We know we have one. We have a anger issue. Now I will go to see the solution. What can I do about it? Did I read a book? Did I attend a seminar? Did I go to a specialist and I say, hey, help me? When these people help you, and I am a life coach and I help people daily to change their life, change never happens all at once. Change happens gradually. So if you used to have a burst of anger once a day, Haytham, then as you start working on yourself, you start having those bursts of angers like maybe once a week. And then as you really want to get rid of it, and you really want to work into yourself, and you're applying all the techniques you're learning, then you go to next step. Then it will become like once a month. Oh, it's good. It's good now. I'm not angry every day. This happens only this, then every now and then. And as you continue working in yourself, it's a continuous progress and it's a continuous improvement. You will get to the point where you are in control, not these anger thoughts. And of course, I really recommend that to know why you're angry. It's not the reason what's happening in front of you, by the way. There is an underlying reason, lying reason why this person is mad. So he needs to dig down deep in his heart what is making him mad or sad. Sometimes we will be surprised that we carried all this anger from the childhood. So we heal our childhood, we heal ourselves, and the healing process will take some time, but you will get to your goal and you will gradually fix that issue. Now, the problem is when somebody has an anger issue, and if you go to talk to them and they say, nope, I don't have, everybody else is wrong, those people, it's hard actually to help them because they did not realize they have an issue yet. But if you realize it, that's probably, I would say 30% of the issue, of the problem already fixed, because you're aware of where you're at. You don't like it. You want to change it. Boom. Then you will start going, and believe me, you will find an answer.
I got you, because, at certain point, we all get provoked. Regardless, even if you try to control your actions, you got provoked inside. And I do believe that the inside anger is much, much worse than the anger that you show, that you express to people.
That is so true. That is so true. It's hard. The inside war, let's say, and the inside anger is very hard. Put it on paper, journal it, ask yourself, what is this? Do I want it? Do I not want it? What's the first time I felt that way? And some of us actually, they get angry. A lot of people get angry because they go under like the victim state, they call it, which is the lowest conscious state. which they like everything is like a poor me and all this poor me situation, and I'm out of control and nothing is under my control and I cannot do anything to improve my life. It just go all of a sudden. Sometimes it's because of weakness. I have no self-confidence. I cannot say what I want. So I keep saying yes to people when I wish to say no. So all these no's, they were supposed to come out gradually to people. All of a sudden they burst and they come out. So you need to fix the problem why I might get angry. And a lot of people, I talk to them and I end up finding out that they are pleasers. They try to please everybody else. And at one point they have to shout and say, stop. And they don't know that they can stop it by putting boundaries and by telling people no when they really don't mean to say yes and all that stuff. It's a huge step, but our life is a continuous improvement. This is why we're here. We keep working on ourselves and we will get there.
By all means, thank you very, very much, Reem. So is there any question, comment? Well, hearing none, I would like to thank you, Reem, Anani, for this wonderful presentation, for this wonderful information. We really have to use this knowledge in order to improve the quality of the life we've got. So, and thank you very much for being generous and giving us all of that knowledge. We should have you more, Reem.
My pleasure. I am really happy to be with you guys. Yeah. And
we're honored to have you, Reem.
Thank you so much. And you know, it's like you said, feedback is good because you can tell us what would you like us to talk about next time. Yeah. And we can always, of course, we love to hear from you because that makes it easier actually to talk about the stuff that you really care about. At the end, I would like to thank RRAI. It's easier to say that, and thank you for this opportunity to talk to your great attendees. And to next time, hopefully we can meet soon.
Of course, thank you very much, everyone. Stay well, stay safe, and looking forward to see you again at another session with the Rights and Responsibilities Awareness Initiative. Be well, everyone. Bye-bye.